Hello everyone, welcome back to another stream. I'm just gonna get the camera sorted here because this is gonna require me to tweak things again. So let's just get all this sorted and away we go. So we got the focus here. I'm gonna be trying to get that a little bit better. We got the keyboard here. We got the background. I'm gonna be moving the keyboard out of the way now. Turn that off. So, Jen's kit. There's a lot of stuff to go over. Mainly painting. So I've obviously done some of the other parts. We've got like the main body, the legs and stuff that have been done in white. These are set up nicely for painting. But what's concerning now is an issue with paint at the moment. And that's because of my indecision, as it were. Hey, Swoop. I don't know whether you've seen one of these streams before. It's gonna be interesting. I've got my robe on here. I should really go arms up there. The thing is, I could just wear my Dreamcast hoodie and that'd be fine. But so problem I'm having at the moment is a paint issue, which you'll see. Hand stream and the dog. So I'll go over this with you now, and I'll walk you through what I've done and how I got to this point, and what I like and don't like, and then I'll talk about potential ideas for solutions. I'm doing that Vtuber thing where I have to emote lots with my hands to show feelings and things. Right, so I started doing extra parts here. So that was the torso, the upper torso. I did this pretty much the same way as the lower body. I did it a little bit using the Posca. Hang on, I'm just putting stuff behind me here. So I did it a little bit using the Posca and then went over it with gloss. Let's try and focus in here. There we go. So from this angle, you can see, doesn't look too bad. So it's got like a Posca underlayer, and then it's got a gloss white, kind of like primer over the top of it to try and make it a little bit better. I don't mind this, but I feel like this may have the same issue as what I'm about to show you, which I hope it doesn't. And I'm gonna go over my potential ideas for this, because I started doing the hair because I thought, you know what, the hair's in a decent position, and it doesn't look so bad. We got the entire back of the head here done, and this actually doesn't look too bad. I went on it with Posca really light, and then did a couple of overcoats with the white gloss, and then put a red over it, and it seems to have gone on really nicely. The red was dusted over it. It had a little bit of trouble going on the inside here. I don't know why. I think that might be the two paints reacting with each other, but it wasn't too bad. I ended up getting it to go on, and it doesn't look too thick. So, happy with this bit. That's provided it stays like that, because, and you'll see in a moment, is this supposed to qualify as craft? Yes. So, what I've done here is I started doing the same for the rest of the hair and getting that done. Let's see where this focuses in. And there are bits of the hair that don't look too bad, but in some areas, the paint doesn't seem to have really taken to the surface, despite me obviously priming it with the white. It's almost like, and I'll try and show this off because of the way that everything is. I've had to put a slightly thicker layer of red on some bits here. It's not too thick, But it's enough to try and cover it because, see if that shows through the, round here on the back, the paint looks like it's thinner, even though it's not. And I feel like that's primarily because the paint is just not sticking to the surface as well, despite it all being done the same way. Same technique and everything. This one in particular, you might be able to see it. What's happening is, it's almost like the paint is getting to the peak here, and then you can see the white. I'll use the other stick. There's just a line of white there, where the red is just, it's gone over it, but it just refuses to apply to it. I don't know why. Again, I'm assuming it's just because it doesn't want to stick to it, or because the Posca is acting strange. It's the same with the inside. The inside is doing it a little bit. So I was kind of unhappy with that. And then again, the same. Did you sand the plastic beforehand? No. The thing that I've done in the past is just applied paint, and it has seemed to have worked for me for going on like 10 or so years. So I've not really had any reason to until this sort of thing starts happening. Here we got the same problem with the hair piece with the glasses. I thought, I'll paint the glasses later, right? But as you can see there's a big white line at the very peak of the hair. Even where I've put the paint on kind of thick to try and see what will happen, it doesn't seem to have applied as well as I would like. So I'm like, oh no. You know, because obviously these kits don't come cheap. And then the other problem is the thighs. Now the thighs, I end up having to redo. These have been painted a couple of times. But it looks smooth there, apart from a little bit. You can see there's a tiny, try and get this in the light. There is an incredibly tiny crack here. There you go, you can see it a little bit better. So you can see that bubble in the paint. That's pretty easy to just sand down. But right next to it, you can only just see it really. There's a very tiny crack there. And I'm like, that's no problem. I can just fill that in, because admittedly, what's under it was taking forever to try and like get just right. It was being a pain, and I was trying to fill in all the little seams and everything that hadn't been filled in by green stuff. So I was like, okay, put it on a bit thick. But this was also a bit thick after this happened. You can see the paint there. The paint has started doing this thing where it looks like it's creasing or just isn't applying properly, despite the surface being sanded and then applied with Posca. It just looks terrible there, and of course, we've got that seam that I need to fill up. Like, the other seams are fine. They can, like, everything else is basically fixable, I think. That seam needs to be filled in with more paint. This, though, I don't know how I'm going to deal with that. I gotta be careful with the lighting here. But yeah, I don't know how I'm going to deal with that, other than potentially sanding it. Did you clean the kit before painting? I'll admit I did not. That's another thing that I'm guilty of. I have not ever cleaned the kit, and all my other ones have come out fine. Again, it's something where I was like, yeah, I don't need it. So yeah, I'm probably going to get people commenting and be like, dude, you're stupid. You know, but I've never had any reason to before. So I was like, I don't have to start now, you know. This one's a little bit more awkward, but it has the same sort of issues with the paint. It's got a little bit less of them. We've got, you can see it there, where the could be the newer plastic of the 30mm kits are made out of, potentially. Hang on, I'm trying to get this just right. As you can see, the seam that I'm trying to fill in goes over the top, like here. You can just about see a little bit that I'm trying to fill in just there with paint, which is why I applied it thicker. But yeah, I've got that strange kind of, there we go. I can just rotate it so you can see the issue. It's just slowly covering the issue that I had before, which was the green stuff and everything not quite working to cover it up. And then when I've been layering it and then putting stuff on over the top, I've got that issue. And I'm like, ooh, because I really needed to fix here, so I focused on this area, which doesn't actually look bad now, but the rest of it does. So I'm like, okay, how do I fix this? And apparently painting over the top is not going to work, because it'll just keep these issues. Unless, of course, I do it incredibly thin or sand back. I could sand back. The issue is whether that would help or not. I'm not quite sure. I feel like it would still kind of have these issues based off what I've experienced. Swoop says, as a craft, I made a Deltarune diorama from a shoebox. Oh, nice. Could sand, then and paint and prime it. What I'm thinking of is I don't know whether it's because of the paints. Because, like, for instance, the two paints that I'm using, this is probably going to have somebody commenting and being like, dude, there's your problem right there. The two paints I've been using, I decided I would try my airbrush out, as I've shown on a different stream. So the main paints I've been using are these Posca ones that are water-based paint marker. So I was using those and going through an absolute ton of them, which is why I thought I'll use the car paint to speed things up a little bit, because I've done that before in the past. I've used basically motor paint on this kind of stuff. I'll show you now. So, this is Halford's. This is a basically a car manufacturer, like not exactly a car manufacturer, but they deal with car parts, car paints, and other things to do with basically your car or a bike or whatever. And for a long time, I've used these paints for stuff like base layers, and primers and things. They've worked fine until now. So it's really weird. They also have started coming with this weird thing where you basically have like them treating you like a complete idiot. Like, to open this, I have to actually, instead of before where I'd like pop the top off and I'd be good to go, instead you have to pop the top off with a freaking screwdriver. And then under the cap, before you can even use them, you have to then use the same screwdriver to pry out this safety ring. So stupid. I'm getting treated like I'm a child, even though I'm way past that. For the kids, yeah. So, the one thing I'm thinking at the moment is that I try testing the Posca again. There's the problem is that when I tried clear coating Posca previously, it kind of ran a little bit. The actual piece that I tried, can't find it at the moment for you guys, but it seems to have gone missing, basically. The test piece that I had... Actually, no, it's here. It's here, sorry. I was going to say, the test piece I had just went missing. But, let's put the other one on first. So this is the test piece for the colour that I'm using for the... or was going to be using for the thigh highs that Jen's avatar wears. There we go. And you can see there's a clear coat on it. And it kind of went on okay. The problem is, when we get underneath here, you can see just close to where it joins onto the main part of the runner here, it started melting. And I'm like, oh, that's not good. And that was also with automotive clear. And I'm like, okay, so I don't hit it with the automotive clear. I've got some in the car that's totally different, that is apparently better for doing this if I just light dust it. So, that might be a lot better. Like cleaning the surface in the kit, you didn't prime and sand it, basically the paint can't stick to anything. I honestly don't know whether that's the whole case. You know, it might just be that the surface is messed up because of me, you know. That's the other colour that I'm going to use for the jacket, I think. what I'm thinking of doing is these parts, some of them I can salvage, obviously, depending on what I want to do with them. Like, I obviously want to try and keep the hair. The thighs have already taken a lot of work. I feel like they're going to take more work. And because I've done the same for the body, like I've done the same for the top as I have the bottom. Hang on. Let's get these parts out here. I'll get the other parts out so you can tell my full idea here. I'll just get those out for the sake of it. So, my idea for this is anything that has been covered in Posca, just standard Posca, like this. This hasn't been covered in anything else. I'm thinking of either trying to seal it with the craft paint instead, like the craft clear coat. See how that goes. And then either do the Posca over the top again and seal it, or do just a different color, like the automotive stuff, over the seal, and then seal it again. Because hopefully that seal should allow stuff to not mess up. I don't want to use an important part like a leg or anything, so what I'm thinking of doing is doing it on a test runner. So I'm thinking of getting a test runner from the SD Unicorn that I've had, doing Posca on that, and then putting the clear coat over and seeing what happens. That's my idea for that, because I feel like anything that has had Posca on it, I should stick with Posca so it doesn't mess it up anymore. This lower body has had a mix of Posca and clear. You can tell because Posca goes on matte. So I'm like, okay, this doesn't have any issue at the moment. If I put Posca on and then the test works, then that's fine. I can just go over that with the colours I already have, clear coat it. That should be fine. The same with like the upper body here when we join them together. This has actually had the gloss on it to try and reinforce it. I just don't want to mess it up. Hey, John. Trying to see if this will go in now because it got paint on the joint. Hang on. Ooh. I love the way that comes off. Obviously, I've been painting everything together just to make sure it'll all go. There we go. So like with this, I'm thinking that I take it, and even though that's got gloss on it now, I hopefully will be okay and just go Posca over it, and then seal it and see what happens, provided the other test goes fine. When it comes to the thighs, considering sanding, and then seeing whether another layer works, just a thin layer over the top, and then sealing. With the hair, because that is fine, apart from this bit, I'm thinking of still doing like either a light dusting or sealing, then doing another dusting over the top to see whether that will work with the craft stuff. Anything that hasn't been touched by either paints, I'm considering, obviously I've got to get rid of nubs and things like that, but anything that hasn't been touched by either paints, I'm considering not obviously mixing them. The idea was to reinforce the Posca originally when I found out that it was getting eaten away, but obviously that idea has gone completely out the window now. So that's what I'm dealing with at the moment. It's essentially I've got to run tests to make sure that this stuff works, and I've just not lost a load of progress. And to see whether I can get those thighs finally done. For the sanding, I've got like the God hand here. I'm thinking, let's see, I'm trying to see what the number that I've got is. Somebody recommended anything up to like 1,000. I've got 2,000 there, 4,000, 8,000, 10,000. 10,000 feels amazing. 6,000, and then 2,000. I think I've already been using the 2,000, so I figure I take it up a notch and use like the 6 on it maybe. See what happens between the 2 and the 6. To try and get it as smooth as possible. And then go from there. That's just my idea at the moment, because obviously I've never really encountered this situation before. I've cocked it up, kinda, I feel like, at least, and I want to try and recover from it. So, yeah, it's a bit crazy at the moment. Hopefully, everything will go fine. Just gonna start packing this away. Johnson's gonna eat it. No. But yeah, no, I still think I can salvage this. It's just gonna take a lot more work for obvious reasons. Again, never encountered an issue like this before, and it was all made with the whole idea that, oh, I can just reinforce one with the other because it's not bad, right? And I've used these other paints before and done this procedure for years, and it's worked without issue. And now it's like, well, guess what? Now we have an issue, you know. So, fun times. Suppose what I should do, like after this, is get the sealant from out the car and see whether that works. It's like, no joke, all the colours are matched. It's just a case of getting it all done. Loose joints? No, not loose joints, John. I have a paint problem with the thigh. I'll try and zoom in for you here. Can I actually, like, focus and then zoom in there? Is that going any further? Or? No. You can see the way that the paint has gone there. Oh. Really kind of annoying. But yeah, I figure if I sand that down to get rid of those, hopefully it'll be fine, and then I can just fill that in with paint. Sand it down and try again. Yeah, I figure the next layer I put an incredibly thin layer on, and I keep dusting it, because the original reason I put a thick layer on was because round here, there is, where is it? Try and keep it level. Round here, the paint wasn't getting into this crease here, and it was just being a pain. So I figured I'd go a little bit heavy on it, and obviously it's come out like this now and give me this kind of very weird texture all the way along there. The other one is not as bad. Like, I'll show you the other one now. Swoop says, me, I can't wait to see Moody stream his project, but also me. From what I've seen, you should be able to do thin coats. Yeah, I figured. Like, is that the other one? Hang on. Yeah, it is. Trying to figure it out. So the other one I actually had issues filling in this area around here, because there's a very, very thin line there from where the seam is. But that's actually covered up now, as you can see. As we go over here. I've sanded down enough that you can actually see. It's hard because of the goddamn focus and the lighting. Around there, I've actually gone back to almost bare plastic, because you can see the colours coming through again. But the idea was to try and get rid of this line that's going there. But over the course of doing that, it's also... Oh, come on. It's also kind of appeared there, just a little bit. But yeah, I figured just a little bit more, and I'll be fine. It's just a case of, like, sanding it back a little bit, getting it smooth, and then doing another thinner layer. Thick coat, yeah. I figure that's what it is. It's just, like, pooling in certain areas. Oh, there you go, it's a little bit better, you can see it there. I think it's also because of, the green stuff. Because you can see where it's actually doing it along that kind of line. That's that thing that we want to cover up. And then when we go over skin tone, it'll all look like one thing. That's what I covered up with the green stuff. So it might actually be that the green stuff is messing up, but you can see that thin line that I have there that I just need to go over, and hopefully once that's done and all this is taken care of, then hopefully the thighs will be done. But yeah, the other stuff, like I was saying, I don't know whether to just completely lumpy legs so far. I don't know whether to go with like the Posca for the rest of this. Again, it's gonna be a case of like testing it, because I do like the tones that they've got. They look nice, but I'm gonna have to do that test piece, because otherwise, if I don't do the test piece and do it directly on key parts and it messes up, I'm gonna be really screwed. Like, I don't know whether to even apply the Posca to the hair bit for the hair issue. Like, John, check this out. So I've got this in 2 areas. And this is... I'll try and get this focused. There you go, you can see it. See that bit on the hair? It's like a line that's running down the front of it. I had Posca on it previously, and I've put, like, basically a coat of red on it, and it's gone over it, but you can see the white layer underneath. I have no clue why. It's only there, and then it's a little bit the same on the other side. Like, I had to put it on a little bit thicker on the underside, but you can still see little glints of it in the light where it's like refusing to take in certain areas, and I'm like, wait, what? Not too big a deal. I'm like, my first instinct is just like, dude, go over it with the Posca, because it's matte again, but it's like, will it totally screw it up or what? You know. Could be pooling or need more passes, potentially. So yeah, that's what I've got at the moment to deal with. Again, I think I'm gonna do the 2000 and then the 6 for the thighs and get them done. So I'll just get started on that and see what happens. Just take a little bit of this off. Let's try and zoom in for you guys. Actually, let's just leave it like that. Just I figure I do this incredibly lightly and hope that everything's fine, you know. I also figure I only do it in the bits where it's actually affecting it, because if I just do it everywhere else, it's gonna screw me over, I feel. It's like this area here, where there's a line that I just need to fill in with paint. It's like, yeah, I'm not gonna take off the paint there. Let's see here. It's a bit of a pain having to do this, you know, because of me thinking, oh, I'm fine, you know. So how is everyone today? Just doing fine here. This count is rubbing one out. It's just I don't think so. I hope not. Otherwise, I'll have to put it on like Fansly or something. I'm watching the Phantom Menace. Oh my god, yes. Despite a load of people ripping on the Phantom Menace, I actually like it. I actually like it a lot. Genuinely, like, not even being contrarian. Like, I think for the most part, it kind of helps that I grew up and watched it. It's not kind of one of those things where you just go into it like with everybody else's opinion of like, oh, it's the Phantom Menace. George made this thing about trade routes and it's boring, you know. Okay, let's keep going there. It's a really good movie. I think there's a lot of stuff aimed at kids in it. And the reason why I say that is it's not like Jar Jar. There is actually a lot of different things like action sequences that are really nice in it. Obviously, you've got the pod racing. You've got the outer space fight with the droid control ship. You know, you've got the final battle, obviously, which is amazing. You've got the fight for Naboo, which I like how they've split up into the actual uh Gungan fight, which you actually get to see the Gungans do stuff, and then you've got the assault of Theed, of Theed Palace with the droids and everything. That's pretty cool. And then obviously you've got the beginning. The beginning sets everything up and puts it in motion. Is actually really fun. There are a lot of great sequences and stuff. I think people just get really upset because it was like it has Jar Jar in it, even though Jar Jar on his own can be annoying. I feel like if you just watch the film and enjoy it for being a film, and don't try and think too hard about Jar Jar, you can actually just like get through it without being annoyed by him. The effects are pretty good. Yeah, Jar Jar was the key to it all. I remember when George said that. Me and my brother are going through them in order, minus the sequel movies. Oh, nice, nice. Like episode 2 and episode 3 were good as well. I remember when episode 3 came out properly because like, and the reason why I say this is because like it came out I think after the games or something. Because I remember the games were in all the game stores, and I remember one of the guys I know went and got it for like the PS2 and was playing it on the PS2. Yeah, I'm on now. That moment where I can see the funny part about this is you can see like it's starting to kind of work, and I'm like, ooh, okay, we're getting somewhere, and then it's like, I hope I don't take too much of this progress back, because I don't want to mess it up. Just want it to look smooth and consistent all the way around, and then we're good. Feel like I go over it like this with the 2000, and then I hit it with the 6 and see what happens. Can't go wrong with Liam Neeson played Qui-Gon really well. I actually really like Qui-Gon, but they don't have enough of him, you know. And then of course Obi-Wan's fight at the end, that is like the one thing that everybody says where it's like they had to slow down Ewan and the stunt actor that plays Darth Maul. I can't remember his name off the top of my head at the moment, but he also does Snake Eyes in G.I. Joe and a bunch of other characters in different films that require a lot of acrobatics. You know, I can't think at the moment, but those fights, man, like so good. Trying to make sure that when I'm going with this, again, I'm not taking off too much of the progress in key areas, but just taking off the issues, namely the cracks that have formed. Hey, Classic! I was just watching Jacksepticeye do an animal voice game. Interesting. Not familiar with that one? Trying to... Like, I'll have a look at how I'm doing here in a moment. One is not simply walk into Naboo. See how I'm doing in a moment, and then we'll see if I need to do any more with the 2, because I think now it's probably just going to be hit it with the 6. Let's try a little bit there, despite my better judgment, because most of this now looks alright. Again, though, the thighs have been a pain since day 1 because of us having to modify them. Yeah, I'm taking off too much there because I'm starting to create little holes in the geometry, so we'll go a bit further up and make sure this is kind of looking like it's blending together, and then we'll go from there. Still need to do a bit of sanding around here by the looks of it. I love these God hand sanding sponges. They're actually really nice. I didn't know about them until I saw one of the other videos of, I think it was one of the other Gundam creators doing stuff, and I was like, oh dude, I'm gonna get them. Nice cake, those is Jeff. Yeah, and you can actually say it in this stream. Let's just... Come on. Like, no joke, I'm putting so much work into this kit at the moment, even if parts are going wrong, it's crazy. Wait, Nice Cake isn't banned? Yeah, in the other stream it was, that game that I tried, Arknights, in that one it was, because I said Nice Cake and it got banned. I'm considering trying Withering Waves at the moment, you know, that other one. It's anime waifu season, and I need my my gacha replacement because of time manning. No. I'm gonna build my Red Air Master. Yeah, it says classic, and the new Leopard Gundam, it's got more flexible joints. Ooh. I'm glad I don't give in to temptation when it comes to like Gundams and stuff anymore. Even though there are a lot of kits that admittedly I'd be like, dude, that looks awesome. You know. I feel like I could give in to temptation too much and then be like knee deep in kits even more than I am at the moment. Like I can't wait until our house is set up how we want it, even though we've been in it like 5 years now and it's still not set up properly because of us obviously not really being able to do much about it due to fixing things. I can't wait until it's set up how we really want it because it's gonna look really fun. Oh, dude, that's looking better. Do it. Amazon has a bunch of older kits. Oh yeah, no. They have like a bunch of SDs as well and stuff. Next month, I'll pay for the Metal Grey. Oh my god, John. Like, you being serious? Because that's one of the ones that I'd get for Rachel. Because that is nuts. Yeah. Oh god. I guess I better start saying thank you already then? You know, like... Just give me a sec. No joke. I used to do this thing when I did my other project, my robot one, my armored core one, before I did this and that all went tits up. The way that I used to celebrate whenever we'd do something right or whenever something went right was I'd always have like a small shot of whiskey and celebrate the tiny victories, obviously because of the situation that we've been in for years, especially because of my disability and stuff. But like, I obviously stopped that with that project because it was just a really kind of bad experience at the end of the day. Um, but it still doesn't take away from the fact that like I really do appreciate stuff like that, you know. Like it sounds crazy and some people might try and spin it different ways, you know, if they want, be like, dude, seriously, what the hell, you know? But no, I really, really appreciate the stuff that you guys do for me. You know, between like super chats, sending me games to play and other stuff. You know, it's I don't think when I started streaming that I would have such a nice audience that is willing to do that kind of thing for me. So it always takes me by surprise a lot. And I never take it for granted, you know. I really don't. That one caught me off guard. Give me a sec. Let's put these back on. Want to make Want you to make fun memories with Rachel? Oh yeah, no, I understand that. Like I want to as well. It's why like it's why we try our hardest, you know, to make sure she enjoys herself. Like she deserves it. Classic says, I'm trying to find a Zeke Zoid kit now. It's so rare. They got a mini size fig and a full size Zeke Rex from the early 2000s, besides McDonald's version from Japan. All three of you do. I I'd argue that like Jen and Rachel obviously need stuff more than I do, just because of how I am. But but no, it's nice, you know, that people actually care that much, you know. Because I think our friend group is literally just, in real life at least, our friend group is literally just like Jen, Stu, Sean, me, and that's about it, really. Apart from like anyone Jen talks to at work, you know. So it's nice. What friends are for, dude. You know, like again, it's that thing. If I don't, I didn't go into streaming immediately thinking like, you know, this is gonna be happening. This is gonna be great. You know, I imagine some people have that kind of an idea at some point where they're just like, oh, dude, this is gonna be cool if this happens. I was just completely taken by surprise by this when I started doing like GBO, and then it's only continued from there. So every little bit of support, you know, every fun time we have, I really like celebrating as much as possible because of literally how much fun it is. So, otherwise, I'd never get all these opportunities. Trying to make sure I've gone pretty smooth with this here, just around this face area because of how much was wrong with it before. You're our Oshi. Family's always important, indeed. Yeah. I think another thing that kind of catches me off guard in regards to VTubers is the whole thing of like male VTubers just seemingly don't exist. Or I watched a video the other day where somebody was saying like male VTubers are boring. I'm like, dude, I don't see any. Everyone's like basically a woman. And I don't have problems with that. It's just the whole thing of like, it's totally different, I think, being a male VTuber than being a female VTuber. You know, the audience sizes and everything else are just massively different. And it depends on, of course, what you're covering subject wise, but ooh, let's try. Figure if I sand sort of circular, I'll still be fine. Let's have a look at this. Oh, dude, that's actually no. There's still an issue there. Let's see that. You guys are like my extended family, so I curse, says John. No, that's again. It's something I don't never expected, you know. But it is incredibly nice. I think that's I think that's primarily because like how much I like to interact with everybody, and the fact that the community I've built up is I'm gonna go out on a limb and say incredibly nice and polite to each other for the most part and can get along well. You know, we're a very small, close knit community that actually does genuinely care, and I like that. You know, it's rare, especially nowadays. Mainly just because of like people can be so disingenuous and manipulative and stuff. You know, and here I am, like literally pouring my heart out on stream, like every time I start talking about stuff. You know, and then you got people saying, "Well, maybe you're oversharing." I'm like, dude, I'm just telling it as it is. You know. Let's try that. I'm worried about Discord for March. We should all go to Instagram if Discord goes south. I'm on route. I'm on route at the moment. Let's see. Okay, that's not looking too bad. Maybe a little bit more there. Hey Green, I am the Lord of oversharing, says Damon. How you doing, Green? I just thought I'd do this while I was waiting. But yeah, I think the nicest thing that I have with this community is that it seems like quite a lot of us have gone through similar stuff, so we can also kind of empathize with each other. It's it's really nice, you know. And like I was saying, or I have said multiple times about like people that I kind of hang out with tend to be similar to each other or have similar issues. There have been multiple times where I've like jumped in and tried to help people out in the Discord because like stuff is familiar to me, or I'm like, dude, I've been through this before with somebody, you know, and it needs to be sorted or whatever. I just like trying to help people and make sure that everybody's okay. Damon also Lord of Stealing Loot. I get called out on a daily for not oversharing, says Damon. I agree about VTubers though. Not many of us have it in hard times. Let's see about this. I've sanded this down now. A good God knows how long. Let me see. Let's try the other one. So I feel like the 6,000 might work here for doing light sanding and buffing. It's either that or I take the freaking glass one out. I got this recently. Try not pointing at myself here. You can see my Discord there in the background. This is a glass file that I got. that helps with like nubs and stuff. This thing is so crazy. Like I can't wait to use that again to get rid of nubs and stuff easily. But I gotta be careful because it's got a mirror surface, so I don't want to do a face reveal by accident. How was the glass file? I tried it the other day, and it sanded the surface down like butter almost. I was like, oh my god. And that was literally just like $10 off Amazon. You know, so all these like new things I'm playing around with, and I'm just like, dude, this is so cool. You know, I can see why people like um using this kind of stuff. Just gonna quickly go over this as much as possible. Hey Sky! I'm getting a new studio set up next week. It's not this classic. Don't know where I'm gonna put it all. American houses have bigger rooms than UK ones. But can John eat it? Yeah, for anyone who's just come in, I slightly messed up the thighs and other stuff. I'll show you in a moment, see what you guys think, and then I'm gonna go into a meeting again that I've got. So we'll see about the thighs here and the cake and see whether I've fixed this up. Because I'd argue that this is like the main part of the kit only because of the amount of modification I've had to do, like with like the green stuff. Come on, it's like you gotta have such a high level of patience, you know. We just need an 80s track and be able to do a montage. I've got like English anime stuff going on in the background at the moment that looks sounds real damn good. I'm actually hoping that this will work because it doesn't seem to be taking too much off. And now, obviously, because it's a finer, I think it's a finer one, isn't it? You guys will have to run this back with me because I swear it is. Stuff that's like that, like 2000, is a lot more rougher than that. So I imagine this is just buffing it basically because this is 6. I've got so much on my brain at the moment that it's hard to remember everything. So I do there by the looks of it. Let's just hopefully see this in its kind of repaired state, and then hopefully I can just like go over it with the paint again. It should be good. Hopefully. Let me have a look at this. Let's go here. This actually looks better already, I'd argue. It's just these little fine sort of like imperfections that I'm seeing where it's like, dude, I just need that gone and then I'm done. Damon. Okay, so that is really smooth. Hang on. Okay. So that looks John! No comment, man. Oh my god. Let's try going back here in just a little bit. I gotta head out with family, says Classic. Thank you very much, Classic. Also, thank you very much for the super chat the other day. That caught me off guard. Let's try a little bit more here. This chat, man. Now, let's see. Let's try going over it with that again. And then I'll show you guys, because it's almost, like, polished. Hey, Damon's brother. Okay. Let's just see. Okay, so this is what I got based off what I had before. Let's have a look at this. Try and focus this. Ah, there we go. So I still think maybe the back there needs to be done, because I didn't actually see that from the lighting. But the main parts, like those bits, probably going to be filled in with lighter coats of paint. But the major bit over here, I think I only need to do a little bit there. Because the rest, oh no, that bit there, the rest of it looks kind of smooth. I just gotta keep working on it a little bit. And oh my god, that background. Yeah, this is time consuming, but at least it's looking like it's working a little bit. Again, I just want to make sure it blends, because if it blends in nicely, and then I paint over the top and it just looks as though it was one thigh, just that thick in the first place, it'd be real nice. Like, dude, I don't know why they don't do this with the actual kit version, because, you know, like, the other version was thinner. It's like, dude, just make a thick thigh, please. Thick-thighed waifus be crying out everywhere because they can't be represented. Too many small characters for this line of model kits, if you know what I mean. Let's see here. There. I mean, it is 30 Minute Sisters. I mean, like, I honestly expected there to be more body variety, you know. That's why Frame Mom's Girl's about it. Yeah. Frame Moms, especially that one. I can't remember which one it is. I can picture it in my head, but I don't know the name. Which is like super thick. Like, I did not expect to be doing this when I set off on this kind of journey to get this done. Where is it? Just checking this now. Still need a little bit more done there. You mean mommy? I don't know exactly. 30-minute skanks. I wish it was a lot easier to customize and there were thicker characters. There's even one that's supposed to come out, another option kit that's like the rider one. I don't know whether it's out now or not. I'll have to have a look. It's basically this one, but with a different design to the chest, and the chest looks like it's slightly bigger. I'm like, dude, do I just go in on that as well and get that and swap it out and see what happens, or what, you know? Because there is the other option that I think it was Damon posted this morning or somebody, and I was like, Oh, that's not too bad, but I'm like, maybe I'll just get from the same line and see what happens. As in, like, the same kind of outfit. Is that? Oh, dude, just a little bit more. You gonna get the bag? I would like to, because then I could basically do the Time Manning thing of painting it purple and having it look like the bike game on that. Huh. That'd be pretty cool. I know I know Kira's got the bike, and that looks fantastic. Oh, come on. That moment where, because of it being like fine grained sandpaper, I'm going at this for like ages trying to get this done, hoping that it'll come out right and that I'm blending everything. It's 25 on Amazon. Wait, what? Is that the same bike? The one with the pointy end to it and the blue canopy? We have to have a look at that. Yeah, the white one. Oh, interesting. I guess we've been on about this before multiple times, like how Amazon is full of like scalpers and stuff, the same with like eBay, but sometimes it does come up with interesting stuff. Let's try and have a look here now. You guys won't be able to see that because of the lack of focus. I think it still needs a little bit more. That moment where this is literally just the ass sanding stream. Just rename it that. I'll give it the nickname of the ass sanding stream. Because I want it to be as perfect as I can get it. Let's have a look. Let's do a little bit more there. Cake stream. Nice cake. That's just literally going to be like a stream joke for whenever something like this happens. Just like, nice cake. You know, just because of that goddamn Arknight censorship. Or seemingly Arknight censorship, because we didn't have any problems after it. I wonder if I can, like, try and blend these lines with the green stuff and everything together. I risk actually ruining part of the setup that I've got here, but I'm just thinking if I go along the line, this seam all the way along here, and just like try and go with it, whether it'll be able to blend it together nicely. Seems to be okay at the moment. Again, I'll show you guys once I'm done with it, because the idea is to try and blend this goddamn other section in with it, and then paint it over with skin tone, and then we will essentially have thick-thighed lady. Sounds like Rachel's not having a good time again upstairs. She went to bed early. She has a cold at the moment, a very terrible one. So she's got like a really bad nasal drip and stuff, and it keeps on interrupting her sleep. And I took her out today for a little bit. And yeah, her nose was dripping so bad, and I'm there trying to help her wipe it. And she's like, no, she turns away. It just smears all over the side of her face. I know it's not exactly what you want to hear like on stream, but I ended up just being like, dude, come here, and I had to like wipe her up. It's terrible. Like, dude. It's affected her breathing as well, so it's it's not great. Poor little one. feel like I'm actually getting here with this, like blending between the paint job that I've done and then the edge bit that I'm doing. Um, not going too bad. Okay, that's actually I'm liking that. Like no joke, that's really smooth. That's actually better than what I had before. Hang on. Okay. Try having a look at this now. Oh, make sure I try and dust this a little bit. Okay. That actually looks a lot better. Like if I focus this. Oh, there. If I keep that there, that's sanded so that we don't have that issue there. And then as you can see, it goes around. We got a little bit just there. But I feel like that'll get filled in because it's very tiny compared to what was there before. Same with this. I figured this will get filled in eventually. It's either that or I solely focus on that area. Make sure it's filled in with like a thick layer and then sand it back again. But then we've got that going over the top, and that's blended in quite nicely now. That's harder to see. That bit there. It's hard to see. I don't think there is any proper markings. Maybe a little bit of something. Oh, or is it just like round here? It's hard to tell. You can see a little bit of where I've sanded back, and you can see the old plastic again there a little bit. Yeah, that honestly doesn't look too bad to me. This is again the only other like residual line that I need to worry about now, I think. So that's not bad. I don't know what you guys make of that. Right, I don't think it's terrible. I think that's kind of worked and looks better as a result. Let's try and buff it and see what happens. Looks way better. Yeah, it doesn't have all those imperfections. Very smooth. Keep going at it. Like I keep hitting it enough and making sure to refine it. Then hopefully it'll be great when it's done, because obviously I want it to look like the best that it possibly can. No longer a crated ass. Yeah, I didn't want it to be that in the first place. It's just wound up like that when I was going through the process and trying to do it this way. Or rather the way that I have been doing it. But yeah, I feel like now we give it a hit. Like not right now, this very moment. I can feel my nose also bunging up a little bit here, but like if I hit that now with light coats, I feel like that's a lot better than what it was, and it will probably look better as a result. Um, the line's a lot more camouflaged as well, so there's less to worry about. So that's good. And then we got this one, which is kind of the same, so I guess I should just go over it kind of the same way, just a little bit. Try and go along the line and blend it. And then the same thing for like any other areas that look like they've got imperfection, which, to be fair, there isn't many on this one. Just gonna make sure, because if I mess up, it's gonna be a massive pain in the butt. No pun intended. Like, oh, see what he did there? It's like, no, no. Genuinely just want it to look the best it can while also doing stuff a little bit better. I need to see. What I'll do is, after this, I'll hit something with the Posca. And maybe a bit silent as I'm at work, says I'm at, hey, Kira. It's fine. So let's try and blend this line together a little bit. And then we'll go over stuff. Sometimes. John, how is Iron Lung, by the way? Because I know you went and saw that, so I figured I'd ask. Iron Lung was damn good. I know, I think it was like, obviously it's IGN, so IGN can't be trusted, but I know IGN was like, the film is too much Markiplier, and nobody knows what's going on. You know, that was literally IGN's review. And then, of course, Hollywood being like, no, you can't be in like the top, what was it, top 10 or top 5? It's a cosmic horror, it's meant to be confusing. Ah! You can see where the paint's slightly coming off there, but it's no big deal as long as the overall surface looks better. No. Funny thing is, Iron Lung got #1 in America and Hollywood got peeved. Yeah, I saw that, Green. Hollywood got peeved and were like, no, we're taking you off the billboard. By the way, Green, I'm not like trying to keep you waiting. I just thought I'd quickly try and get this done, and it's turned out to be a little bit more of a longer process, but I'm eating an entire pizza right now. God damn. Oh, that reminds me. I keep going to Costco with the little one, obviously. You can eat that cake? I keep going to Costco with the little one, and she keeps playing this game now because she can reach the order control panel thing if she leans over. She keeps trying to order pizza even though she's allergic to it. And she does like the funniest little thing ever. Like it's this cheeky thing of pizza? I'm like, no, you're not ordering pizza. And she keeps trying to lean over and get it. And it's just funny because like I was saying like the other day to her, you can't have pizza, you're allergic. This old woman was stood next to us laughing at her. And meanwhile, Rachel's like, pizzas? No, no. And then she'll deliberately lean back, so she'll be like, pizza, and go to push it. It's like, no, 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 no. You put a hand away, and then she'd be like, pizza, and then she'd be like, boop, and tries to press it. And it's like, no, 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 seriously, you gotta cancel. And then she's like, pizza, bah. It's like, dude, seriously? So funny. Kira says, just finished the Age Anthem arc and jumped into the movies. Very much disliked Kyo. Kyo's arc is terrible. Yeah, Rachel's hilarious. Like, I think the reason why is because, like, me and Jen just try and have as much fun with her as possible and don't try and do what I think people have named, like, toxic parenting. You know, like, from the older generations where when somebody does something wrong or whatever and they're like, no, you should do that, and just start, like, jumping down the throat and everything. Me and Jen have decided we're not gonna do that. Like, we'll set boundaries and stuff, but my boundaries are reinforced by tickles. So it's like whenever she does something that I don't like, I'm just like, right, I'm gonna tickle you now, and then next minute she's like, no, 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 and then she starts trying to run off. I'm like, I'm gonna tickle you, and start tickling her under her arms, and she's just like, ah, so funny. I just feel like it's a better way of parenting than just like jumping down somebody's throat and being like, no, you don't do this, blah, 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 blah. You know, it's terrible. You know, it never worked on me, and it was just bad. So why be a toxic parent when you can be a good parent? So yeah, funny. Don't overdo it, or you'll end up on the other extreme. What with her literally just like not not listening to anything we say or whatever because we're going a bit too soft on her. I think at the moment we're doing like a good cop. I think we're doing like a good cop, bad cop thing at the moment, and Jen's the one that's a little bit more strict on her. I just like doing the tickles thing. Uh-huh. Dude, I can feel my nose literally here. I am sorry if anybody hears my nose like trying to clear itself though when I'm trying to breathe. Jen's the bad cop, yeah. It's like, well, let's put it this way, right? I've mentioned before like little tidbits about me and growing up with my parents and stuff like that. And I just I didn't want to be like I even mentioned it in the streams, like the Lego streams before Rachel was born. I was like, dude, I want to be a better parent, and I don't want to be like constantly shouting at her for no reason. Like if I'm gonna be shouting, it's got to be a good reason, and by that I mean probably like danger or whatever. You know. Um. But yeah, it's one of those things where I'm trying to make it so that like if I'm raising my voice, it's for a really, really good reason. It's poignant rather than just raising your voice for the sake of raising your voice. It was even funny because like a lot of the stuff that I've mentioned, I talked with like other family members and they were like, "Oh, dude, you used to be like that," and I'm like, "Well, we're testing Rachel for autism, so if Rachel comes back as like autistic, then and I'm supposed to apparently my story that people have said be the same, then I'm gonna start asking questions like, dude, why didn't you get me checked out sooner and stuff? You know, David and John. Oh, let's. There's a little bit of a mark there. Again, I'll show you this when I'm done with it because I don't want to go too much, but I do want to try and like that's exposed a little bit of what's underneath, just a tiny bit, but it's also smoothed it a bit, and I'm like, oh, okay. Let's just try a little bit more there, and then I'll try sanding it again and show you. By sanding again, I mean the smoother stuff. Are you still waiting for diagnosis? Yeah. Basically, I went to the doctors a while ago, and I was like, I want to get tested for autism, OCD, and I think it was ADHD because I was showing signs of like bits of all of them, and they were like, oh, okay. So the thing is, though, I've since then found out that apparently autism can cover similar things as well. So it might not be that I have like 2 or 3. It might be that I just have like incredibly crazy autism, which I joked one time and said it's like turbo autism. But yeah, basically I'm on the waiting list. I don't know when I'm gonna find out, which is crazy. Because I really wish I'd got myself diagnosed sooner, because it probably would have helped with a couple of things, or at least to kind of understand myself a little bit more. You know, the predators will want you. We're at the next stage of evolution. You're not job enough sensors, Kira. uh, it's that silly thing of being like, yeah, I'd rather be a nut job than kind of normal because it's not fun being normal. There's too many normal people. Or rather, people that claim to be normal. Let's try this. Okay. Let's try the 6,000 and see whether this works. I want to see what like issues this may or may not have now, because I feel like this might be a couple of light codes again and we're good. King says, as someone who has high functioning version of PDD, let me say normal is overrated. It's like, I know plenty of people that have been diagnosed. Like I got told literally today that one of the guys that basically helped me get another interview lined up for Sony ages ago when I used to work there. One of the guys that did that for me literally has finally been diagnosed and has come back as autistic, and I'm like, oh, cool. Oh, but yeah, that was fun. Can't remember whether Jen's on the list or not. I think I know. Jen said she had ADHD or something. I know she has dyslexia and stuff. Let's see. That's a whole hock of ham in your hand, Dave, says Kaiser. Kaiser, you can help me with this, hopefully. Stu's a new type. I myself was diagnosed as an adult. Nice. The list? Like seriously though, the amount of times I hear like stories of when I was a kid, and my parents or some other family member would be like, "Oh, we thought something was a bit funny, or this was off with you, or you never did this, you never did that," and then they're saying, "Well, Rachel sounds like she's the same," and I'm like, "Dude, if that's the same, and she comes back as autistic, then what the heck happened?" I was looking at diagnosed as soon as I started school, says John. I really wish it had happened for me when I was earlier. Like when I was younger. Would have possibly helped a little bit. Oh, dude, this isn't too bad. Like, obviously, because the last layer I put on was pretty thick, it's brought a little bit of it off, but no joke, it's not that bad. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys now, especially like Kaiser and people coming in, and you can see what I'm having to deal with because of issues, and then I'll go over ideas that I had at the start of the stream, and you guys can chime in and help me figure out how to hell to fix some of these issues, because I've got a couple of them I would like to know, and I know you guys are a lot more experienced. And as you know, I like going to people that have experience and be like, dude, seriously, how do I do things? You know, I like being able to get my answers from people that are in the know. So let's just finish up here. Right. Let's check out this area, and then I'll go over the other stuff from the beginning of the stream. Where is it? Out there, and then we'll just focus. Come on. Hey, there we go. About there. Let's grab one of these just in case. So, this is how it looks at the moment. You can see there's a little bit of a mark there, and a little bit there. That's not too bad. As we go along here, maybe a little bit that I can sand down there. This seam that you can see just ever so lightly, I figure that's going to go away. There's maybe a little bit there. Don't know whether that's paint, like discoloration or not, because of the gloss and the matte that I applied to it. And then obviously we've got this line that's like slowly fading. Obviously that's the burr plastic underneath, so that'll need to be coated over again. But there's an incredibly thin line there that's going all the way back. Hang on. There it is. It's a thin line from the green stuff that goes all the way back to there. Before that looked a lot worse, now it's looking fine. I figure if I just apply another course or a couple of layers of paint to that, then that's going to be done. The only problem is that there that I've just noticed. That literally there. Which I feel... Oh no, that's that green stuff bit that I was on about. It's just focused in a lot more. So if I go over that hopefully she'll fix that issue. But let's go over this stuff from the beginning. A few passes with the sanding sponge should suit that out. Yeah, I can do a little bit more to that compared to the other one. But sanding that out is going to be probably the way to go. Just a little bit more with it, and that should be good. The other one is pretty similar. It's in a lot better state than it was before. I'll get the her out and show you the issue that I'm having, and then I'll talk about basically how everything else has gone, and we'll go from there. So, this is the back of the her. Hang on. Right? This is the back of the her. And this is with the same style. I've done a Posca marker undercoat on it. It's very fine with the airbrush. And then I literally went over it with gloss white from the car place that I've been on about the past couple of times. And then I went over that with the red. And we have this, which looks pretty nice. The only problem was I had a slight issue applying stuff inside there, but it seems to have sorted itself. So I'm happy with that part. I've started just painting all of these as is. So that's not bad. I like that. But the real issue comes with something that's going on with the paint for like the glasses and other similar parts. You can see it here now. What I did was, again, I've had the Posca on it and then put the gloss white on it to kind of reinforce it before I put any sort of like clear over it at the end. and the idea was to like hand paint bits of the glasses. But as you can see, there's a very thin line where it, even though I've put red over it, you can still see the white from underneath. It's almost like it's got bleed through on it, and it's happened on a couple of other high areas. I have no clue why that is. And I assume somebody's going to say, like, it's because you've mixed paints, Posca with car paints. And I'm like, I don't know. I honestly don't know. But no. Sky says, I was diagnosed after I dropped out of school because at the time nobody knew that what I had. Heck, even had a name for what I had. I just had something that is very, very similar to my my skin condition, you know, where I was saying like for ages. I just knew it as like sensitive skin. It looks like the gloss coat is eating through the Posca. Ooh, interesting. I was highly over average in certain things to an extreme and highly under the norm in others. Apparently they should work together, says Damon. Yeah, like the Posca are literally just like white, water-based paint marker. The car paint itself. Let's find out because I've got the exact red here. Hang on. That's literally the red. Hang on. Let's try and see if I can focus here for a moment. What the? There we go. Right, so let's see. Let's see what it actually is. Because, again, the reason why I use this stuff is because it's durable and I've been doing it for years and it's not giving me any problems. Danger. Lots of extremely flammable stuff. Blah, 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 blah. Contains acetone. Let's see. Touch dry, hardened. Your mama says, Kira. Wait, what? I'm just trying to see like what's going on here. Instructions for use. Preparing for primer. Even though I've never messed around with that before and I've been fine. Shake can for 2 minutes with the agitator ball, blah blah blah. The label? What? Like, what? But yeah, that's the stuff that I normally use, and for some strange reason, it's giving me that issue. Now, the thing is, basically too much text. Ah, okay. Now, the thing is, if it's done it with, oh, where is it? With that, and it looks like that, I'm like, huh. Especially because I've not clear coated that yet. I think it's make Dave crazy time from paint fumes. Dude, I've, no joke, even though I've been outside and like keeping my mouth closed, still been ending up huffing a bit of these paint fumes. It's crazy. The thing is, I've done the same thing for the rest of the project. I've done stuff like I've used the Poscas and under, or just to kind of build up a little bit, and then put the gloss over the top. I'm thinking now that if... Wait, don't you have a mask? Yeah, I'm stupid and just didn't bother getting it because it's been in the back for ages. You know, I need to actually get it out. But before I got the mask, I was basically painting like this anyway. You know, shouldn't you be using a mask? Yeah, basically, I do it all outside, and just try not breathe it in is the best way to put it. But you will always get, no matter what, even if you take the mask off, because of it being windy as well, you'll always get a draft of it in your face, which isn't nice. But yeah, I'll I'll go back to using the mask, basically, because it'll probably be obviously better. What I was going to say was, because I'm getting that issue, what looks like bleed through, I'm considering using the Posca again on, say, like, the suit. But before that, I'm thinking of doing a test runner with the Posca on, and then doing a very light coat of a new gloss that I've got, because the previous gloss, the previous gloss that I got ate into the Posca. A proper respirator mask is essential when using automotive paint. Okay. No, that's fair then. I definitely will use that then. Where is it? Where is it? There it is. So, this is with the Posca and then the clear from the automotive. And as you can see, if I go in just a little bit here, this is just a test with the leggings, or the thigh high bit. You can see where the gloss is eaten away at the purple there, or the lilac. So my idea was originally to mix the Posca with the white gloss to stop that from happening. But now I just decided I'll go and get another clear. So I've actually got Rust-Oleum clear in the car. My idea is to do a runner with Posca on, and then try and see whether the Rust-Oleum one works better. Because if the Rust-Oleum one doesn't eat through it, I can still technically use Posca on the areas that still have Posca and not have any issues. Whereas the other stuff that is still untouched by any sort of undercoat, I'll just do with the car paints instead. That way it saves issues. That's my idea, at least at the moment. That way I'm not, like, having any more, like, bleed through or whatever. As for the hair, the only thing I can think of doing at this point is just trying to give it a light dusting again and see what happens and let it dry. Respiratory irritation and dizziness, says Damon. Damon's giving you, like, the full rundown here. Trust me, I know I've had stupid issues before, like dizziness and stuff. Long-term neurological or organ... Oh, dude, I'm gonna have to... especially for, like, the neurological one. That one's more of a concern. Bad Dave. Yeah, no, it's... The thing is, these are all bad habits that I was taught, and then I'm just like, dude, the mask's in the back, and there's so much stuff that I have to move out the way to get to it. I'll just do it how I used to do it. Because no joke, when I've been doing all of this painting, like, from, like, what, 2009 till before we moved, so say, like, 2020, whenever I was doing kits, I was always doing the same thing. Like, I didn't have a mask until, like, 2021, I think it was. So I was constantly, like, just basically holding my breath, spraying stuff, and then, like, breathing afterwards. Which sounds crazy, but these are bad habits that I was taught by my own father. My own father, admittedly, doesn't know what he's doing. I was just like, oh, it's fine, you're in a ventilated area. So, I can say that, again, it's one of those whole things where it's, bad teacher, bad student, That's why I was using the Posca in here, because the Posca, as far as I know, isn't toxic like the automotive stuff. So, I figure, yeah, anything that the Posca's already touched, hopefully with the test runner of Posca, I can then just turn around and be like, oh, I'll just continue using Posca. Otherwise, it'll have to be automotive paint and see what happens and what comes from that. Which is a bit crazy. But yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed. I've got to get going. And I shall see you on the next one. So until then, bye!